Hey guys, do you want to know how to make epic looking statues in Fortnite? Well, you clicked on the right video. But first, check this out. I joined up with MustardPlays, ImmatureGamer, MakaMakes and Shride to create the best looking Zonewars and box fight map you'll ever play. And we challenged ourselves to do it in just 4 hours. Every builder came up with 2 themes each, and then Mustard let the Wheel of Fate decide which theme was going to be used for the map we were going to make.
Oh my gosh.
When the wheel stopped on the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, I already knew what my part of the map was going to be. Welcome to the ancient pyramids. We quickly began building what would prove to be a massive project. Maka used his artistic skills and good sense for large builds to create the center pyramid and the different UFOs. Mustard and Shride built the different types of smaller pyramids that are scattered around the map. They also came up with some beautiful oases that added some much needed color to the map. Immature did what ImmatureGamer does best, and was responsible for designing the game mode for the map. His mechanical genius made it easy for him to make a fast-paced, high-action Zonewars box fight mode, where the game mode is swapped every round. And I built the colossal llama sphinx statue that sits in front of the Great Pyramid. How did I do this? Let me show you. When making a statue, there are 3 things to consider. Number 1. What size is the statue going to be? This is important to consider because of memory cost. Making a statue often requires a lot of pieces, which means that it will likely take a big chunk out of your available memory. It is also important to either decide the scale of the statue based on its surroundings, or to design the surrounding environment according to the statue's size. You don't want the size of the statue to make it feel out of place, as if it's unrealistically oversized. If you're building a colossal monument, make sure its size is reflected in the structures around it. Thirdly, a larger statue can generally contain more pieces, and more pieces means you can add more detail. However, the more pieces a statue is made of, the harder it will be to copy with multi-selection. And if necessary, move it around, so try to be as prop efficient as possible. Number 2. What prop or props are you going to use? This can range from rocks to colored blocks. There really are no limitations when picking your props. Find props that have the right color, a nice texture, and that have a shape that will make it easy for you to piece together multiple copies. A popular example are rocks, for their discrete colors, round shapes, and plain textures. Since the beginning of Creative, you have probably seen players build huge dragons and monsters with rocks. However, a little bit of creativity can go a long way. This spooky looking carnival entrance was built entirely out of props. But can you guess which prop I used for the red skull? Toolboxes. These red toolboxes found in the container prop gallery had the perfect red color, a nice metallic texture, and were small enough to allow me to make the skull as detailed as I wanted it to be. Number 3. Where is the statue going to be located? If your statue is the center of attention in your map, you'll naturally want it to be quite detailed and pretty to look at. However, if your statue is placed somewhere where players might not be able to get a close look at it, you can save memory by not focusing on the tedious details and instead aim to make it very big or impressive in ways that can be appreciated from far away. Now let's move on to the llama sphinx that I built for our Zonewars box fight map. Here's what I did. When making a statue, I'd highly recommend looking for references online. This can be other games, movies, and images you find on the internet. When making the llama sphinx, I looked up images of the real Great Pyramids and the Sphinx. This helped me get the shape and positioning of the statue right in relation to the center pyramid that MakaMakes was making. I then created a rough shape using a few big stone blocks acting as placeholders. This allowed me to envision what the finished Sphinx would look like, and make it easier to get the size right before I started on the tedious process of sculpting the statue. Finally, it was time to decide what prop I was going to use. I considered using the orange rocks from the desert foliage gallery, but when I saw how sharp the contrast was between the rocks and the stone blocks that were being used for the pyramids, I decided to go ahead and use the same stone blocks instead. This gave the Sphinx a nice worn sandstone texture. Now you might think that a prop this big would make the Sphinx look less detailed, but because the structure is so big, I was able to get a nice level of complexity. And using big pieces made it easier for me to finish on time, since 4 hours really isn't that long when you're making a statue. Since I was building the Sphinx in the style of a llama, I was able to use a Fortnite loot llama as reference, which really helped me nail the design. It's very important to be patient when making a statue in Creative, especially if you're making it almost entirely using grid snap off, which is what I did. It took me the full 4 hours to build the whole structure, and when the time was up and the pyramids were constructed, the Sphinx was complete. I couldn't be happier with how this map turned out. Everyone did a fantastic job, and we worked extremely well together, and I can't wait to build with these guys again. If there's something you would like to see us build, let me know in the comments. Please make sure you watch the videos on MustardPlays, ImmatureGamer, Shride, and MakaMakes channels to see how they built their parts of the map. Links will be in the description. The code for this map will be posted soon on our Twitter pages. Thank you so much for watching, and the next time you're in creative, challenge yourself to build a statue using any prop you like, and post a picture on Twitter tagging me at StormHawk__. Happy building!